Right. So I've created this classic add-on manager because currently the Twitch app doesn't seem to understand how to update classic WoW add-ons properly. If you install an add-on like DBM, for example, that both supports classic and retail, the Twitch app will tell you that there's an update ready. And then you click the update and it'll update to like 8.2. I've personally tried that, so I decided to make this instead. And currently it supports CurseForge just like the Twitch app does, but it also has support for add-ons hosted on GitHub. So, for example, Ox or Questy, which are naturally on GitHub, you can also manage through the add-on manager. And it works kind of like the Twitch app in the sense that if you install an add-on through it, it'll be added to like a list, and then you can just click the Update Add-ons button, and it'll automatically update all your add-ons to the newest version. It should be relatively simple. Now, it's still in an early phase, so the UI isn't perfect, and there are some known bugs at the moment. There's three big known bugs that I want to talk about real quick, just so everyone's aware. The first one is a UI hang thing where if the add-on manager has to do a lot, the add-on, like the user interface of the add-on manager will look like it's frozen. It's not actually frozen. I know exactly why that happens, and I also know how to fix it, but it's going to take a little bit of time to fix. Another one is when you do your initial setup, it will ask you for your WoW class path. This thing will, recurrently pop up until you actually type in a proper path. It's possible to close it through the task manager, but that's also something that'll be fixed in the next release. So to install this add-on manager and how to use it is pretty simple. You go on my GitHub, you can see it up here. It's EricABP123, and then it's the classic add-on manager. It'll be so the link to this will be in the description to this video and also on the classic WoW subreddit post that I make. And then you go under releases, like I just did, and you want to find the newest version. In this case, it's version 0.3, but depending on when you watch this video, it could be a higher number. And you want to download the one called classic WoW addon manager.zip. And you don't need the source code at all. That's just if you're interested in looking at how it works behind the scenes. Once you have that downloaded and extracted, I've extracted it here on the desktop. You'll see that there's a folder system, and then there's the an exe file. So you don't need to worry too much about the system. That's only if you want to manually update it for a future release. But in a later version, I will also add a feature to auto update this add-on manager, so you won't actually have to go on my GitHub. You'll just open up the add-on manager and it'll update to the newest version. So you double click the exe, and this will open up with a little dialog box asking you to provide the path to WoW Classic installation. Now, this is the first known bug that I was talking about. If you click cancel, it'll pop up again and again until you pick a correct path. If for some reason you don't want to do a setup right now, you can hit Control-Shift-Escape and find the one called Open JDK Platform Binary and End Task, and that'll close it. So for setup, it's pretty simple. You just need to find the WoW Classic installation folder, and if you don't know where that is, just open up your Blizzard launcher, find the option, go to the World of Warcraft tab, find the options, and select Show and Explore, and this will take you to World of Warcraft's installed. You select this, and then you'll see some different information here, and you'll see two folders, assuming you have retail, of course. It'll tell you classic and retail, so you pick classic, and then you just copy that URL. I'm going to open up interface here in add-ons so you can see this is my add-ons folder. I don't have anything installed at the moment. You'll paste that in there. Close this down for now, and it'll have done the setup. You'll receive a little information here that it's performed the setup. If at any point in time in the future you want to change your setup folder, for example, maybe you move World of Warcraft or whatever, click on File and then just click Setup, and that'll get you that prompt you saw earlier. Also, here is the output log. It'll tell you a bunch of different information about what's going on and if there are any errors or whatever. Right now, it won't provide very much information, but if you click File and toggle Debugging, you'll get a lot more information here in the output log. So if you encounter any bugs, do feel free to click Toggle Debug, copy all, repeat whatever it was that was causing the issue, and then copy the output log and send it to me, and I'll look into it. Additionally, there's also the help, and you can get link to the GitHub directly from here. If you want to update, for example, you could always just click Help GitHub. And you can also find a link to a Discord where you can basically ask any questions you want. So on the left here, you can see which add-ons are being managed. Currently, we have 0 set up, and you can select from and remove them. They'll be sorted in alphabetical order once you add one. So it should be pretty easy to find whatever you're looking for. And on right below the output log, you can see the update add-ons. And what this will do is it'll basically check all the add-ons in your list. It'll see, are there any updates for these? It'll fetch the update, and then it'll install it in the interface folder you can see over here on the left. So let's just add an add-on. I think that's the easiest thing to do. So I'm going to move this over here. You can see I have 2 GitHub add-ons open, and then I have the CurseForge as well. So most people will probably get their add-ons from CurseForge. The only 2 add-ons that I really know of that are interesting on GitHub are Questy and Ox specifically. So those are the ones that I have open, and those are the ones I've tested on. So to install a classic WoW add-on, you go to curseforge.com/wow/add-ons. You go here where it says game version. You scroll down all the way down, find the part that says WoW Classic. You don't need to choose a specific number, just choose WoW Classic. And this will show you all the add-ons that are compatible with Classic WoW. So we're just going to get like a few of these. We'll get just the first 4, I guess. And then all you want to do is you just want to copy this URL here. Paste it in here to the add-on URL, click add, and take a little bit of time. It's been added to the managing list, and you can see out here there's a little bit of information. If you toggle debugging, it would tell you even more. And we'll just do this for the rest real quick. Right. So now we have those 4 add-ons. Say we also want to include the other 2 GitHub add-ons. We can do that as well. Now keep in mind, these add-ons are now being managed, but they haven't actually been installed. To install them, just click the update add-ons. It'll get the newest version and automatically install it for you. And anytime you want to update it, all you have to do is just open up the add-on manager and click update add-ons, and it'll update all the ones over here. You can also at any point in time delete any by just clicking on them and clicking remove. So for GitHub, it's a little bit extra work. The first thing you have to understand about GitHub is that CurseForge is a website specifically designed for hosting add-ons, so they follow a certain pattern, I suppose you could say, for each add-on, which makes it, from my perspective, a bit easier to deal with. But GitHub doesn't necessarily follow the same thing. It's not necessarily intended for add-ons, obviously. It's intended for like anything programming-wise. So it depends on the author how they choose to do it. So you can see with Questy, Questy Dev, if you scroll down a little bit, he'll say to download you need to get the one at releases/latest, right? So he wants you to do releases. He basically does fixed releases, and you're supposed to download the newest release and install this release. Whereas if you look at Ox hasn't done any releases at all. So the way he expects you to do it is to go over here where it says clone or download and select download zip. That's how you would normally do it. But on top of that, you also have to understand that there are different branches, and branches are basically like versions, I suppose you could say. So you have to understand that that there is a little bit extra work involved in a GitHub add-on. So in this case, we click on branch and we can see the different branches, and you can see he has one called Classic, one called Dev, one called Master, and one called Retail. So the Master one, I assume, is for the 1.12 client. So the one we want to select is Classic. So Classic is the branch that's relevant for us, so we have to keep that name in mind. So we'll copy the URL here. We'll open up the add-on manager again, and we'll paste it in. But here where it says GitHub branch, we'll type in Classic, and it's important that we type in the correct one, otherwise this won't work. Now for the next release of the add-on manager, I'll make it so you don't actually have to manually type in the name of the branch. I'll have it so that you just type in the add-on, click add, and you'll get like a pop-up where you can select between the different ones, like you can see here on GitHub. That way you don't have to be worried about making a typo. It's a lot easier, and then usually they'll label them properly like Classic, and you can just you'll get a pop-up and you can just click classic. But for now, you have to do it like this, and you have to make sure you type it in correctly. If you type in the incorrect, if you type in the name of a branch that doesn't exist, for example, if you misspelled classic and wrote classy, then it would still get added to the managed add-ons list, but whenever you hit update add-ons, it wouldn't actually install anything. So it's important that you double check the branch name. Otherwise, just hit add like you would anything else. You can see aux add-on has been added. And for QuestyDev, it's similar. You'll paste this in here. But because QuestyDev wants you to use releases, there's this little checkbox here that says use releases. You just click this. It'll fade out the branch because the branch is no longer relevant. And you just click add, and it'll be added to the list. So now we have 6 add-ons we're managing. So we're just going to hit the update add-ons. And this could take a little bit of time. Again, this was one of the bugs I was talking about where it looks like it's crashed, but it's not actually crashed. You can see over here it's actively adding add-ons to the interface folder as we speak, so it's not actually crashed. Next update, I know exactly how to fix this bug, and it will be fixed, but for now I just wanted to get something out that people could test. I figured it was more important that that people had access to the add-on manager than, that it looked like there was, a problem with the UI. So now it's updated all of these, and it's basically, that's it. There's nothing more to it. If you want to add a new add-on, you can very easily do so. It's the exact same. You just open up the add-on manager, type in the new URL, click add, and then that's that. And anytime you want to update, you just click update add-ons, and it'll look and see if there are any new updates available, and if there are, it'll automatically fetch them. And that's that. So you can see here, if it just says updating add-ons and then finished updating, that means there were no new updates. It'll always tell you if there's an update available. For example, here it said there was an update available for DBM. And that's that. And to remove an add-on, we can very easily do this. We'll take, for example, DBM has a ton of folders, so we'll remove that. Click remove, and you can see over here, it removes all the folders associated with it and doesn't leave a trace.